Very good session, my dear friends. So today in this class we shall learn about the bisection method. Okay. So what is bisection method? Bisection method. So here we shall know the meaning of this bisection method. Bisection means equal halves. Equal halves method. So what is this method used for? This method is used for finding roots. Finding roots of a given equation. Okay, whatever the given equation is there or given function f of x. In this bisection method, that is equal halves method, we are going to use to find the roots of the given function. So how this function is? The given function will be of the form algebraic equation. This given function will be in the form of algebraic equation or transcendental equation. Okay, so what is algebraic equation? Algebraic equation means in the form ax square plus bx plus c. We have to find the x value. So nothing but if you find x value satisfying, if suppose a is satisfying this function f of x, then at f of a must be equal to 0. Then we can call a is a root of this function. A becomes the root of this function. So this is the algebraic equation. Okay, this is algebraic equation. And transcendental equation means irregular curves. What are the irregular curves? Means suppose the equation is of the form f of x is equal to log x plus x. This is one form. Okay, or so here f of x is equal to log x plus x. This is one of the curve, and f of x is equal to sin x plus x square, like this, some form. So this is also a form of transcendental equation. So e power x, if f of x is equal to e power x, any irregular curve x into e power x you take. So like that, any irregular curves are formed, that equations we can call them as a transcendental equations. So we are going to find the roots of the transcendental equations and algebraic functions. Okay, whatever algebraic equations are there and transcendental equations are there, we are going to find out the root. And that method we are using here is bisection method we are going to use. Okay, so there are a few other names for bisection method. That is, we can call this bisection method as with different names. That is integral halving method, and binary search method, and dichotomy method. Okay, so we can say that here we can write three types of this bisection method. Number one, we can call it as interval halving method. Okay, next dichotomy method, and next we can call it as binary search method. Like this, we have three different names for the bisection method. For bisection method, we can call it with three different names. Okay, so here we shall see the definition for this bisection method. So for bisection method, the primary definition is like this. Suppose f of x is a function. F of x is a function, and it is having x as a variable. So suppose if I take some f of c is equal to 0, if I take, then c will become the root of this f of x function. Okay, c will become root of the f of x function. If this is not there at some c, if it is not equal to 0, then we have to choose two different values. That is, f of x is continuous. F of x is continuous in the interval of a and b. Two values we have to choose. It is a closed interval between a and b, such that how we have to choose these values means, suppose f of a multiplied with f of b, then it should be less than 0. We have to choose a and b such that if a is substituted in f of a, you will get some value, and b you substitute in f of x, you will get some value. If you do the product of these two values, you are going to get a negative number, means you have to get a negative result, then only it will be less than 0. Okay, then suppose what happen if I get f of a is into f of b is greater than 0, if I get, means this is absurd. Whatever the values you have chosen are not correct. Okay, we should not choose this type of values such that their product is greater than 0. If you choose, it is not a bisection method. You are not according to the bisection method, you are following a different method. Okay, so when you are choosing the values a and b such that their product must be less than 0, then only you are going to solve the function according to bisection method. And next step, what we have to do, this is the first step. First step is assuming some values of this given function, assuming some values for the given function such that their product, the values in the, when you substitute these two values in the function, it is continuous between this interval, and you substitute these values in the function and their product must be less than 0. Then only we can say that the root is going to lie, the root of f of x, the root of f of x is in between a and b. The root of this f of x is going to be between a and b only. Then how to find that root? You have assumed the values, you substituted, you got negative. Okay, then what is next step? So in the next step, what we have to do means we have to find the c value. Means we are going to find the root. Okay, directly if it is equal to 0, okay, no problem. If it is not equal to 0, we are going to take this step, this process. You have substituted some value in x, you got direct result f of c is equal to 0, you got, so c becomes the root. Over, our problem is solved here. If this is not happened, then we will choose this step. These steps we have to follow. So to get this c value, what you have to do is you have to take the average of these two numbers. You have to find the midpoint. Now c is going to become the midpoint. Then what you have to do? Again you have to substitute the c value in the f of x. If you get positive result, if f of c is positive, then you just multiply f of c into f of a. F of c into f of a you have to do. If you get a negative result, then you have to take the average of a and c. Again you have to calculate the midpoint between a and c. If this is not happened, then you take the product of f of c and f of b. Then it should be less than 0. Then you can find out the d is equal to c plus b by 2. So here two things you have to test here. Number one, f of c into f of a is less than 0, or f of c into f of b is less than 0. Which one is less than 0? That one only you have to take and you have to find the average. If this is not 0, you have to go for this one. If this is not 0, then you have to go for this one. Any one will be definitely less than 0, no doubt about that one. Because here f of a into f of b is less than 0 means any one must be negative. Okay, any one must be negative. But we don't know that f of c will be negative or positive, we don't know. So we have to test for these two things. Whether it is plus or minus, we don't know. We don't know whether it is plus or minus. After getting this value, then we can do the product with f of a and f of c, a product with f of a and f of b. If you get negative, then you have to use that value only for finding the midpoint. Again, what we have to do, sir, means we have to continue this process. We have to continue this process. Okay. So how to continue the process? Let us see. So first what we are going to do is here, first thing what we are going to do, we are choosing some two values a, b such that f of x is a function, given function. This is a given function, okay. F of x is a given function. This is given. Okay, in the question itself it is given. Next we are choosing some interval. This is the interval we have chosen. This is the interval we have chosen. How we have chosen this interval? F of a into f of b must be less than 0. This is the interval we have chosen. Okay, this is okay for us. Next what we are going to do is, we are going to find the midpoint. C is equal to a plus b by 2. We have to go and find. Then we are getting f of c value. Then we are going to get f of c value. Now, if f of c is positive or negative, we have to see. Okay. We have to see f of c is positive or negative. We have to see. This is the second thing. This is the second step we can say. This is the first step we found, and this is the second step. And in the third step, what you have to do means, you have to check that f of c into f of a is less than or 0, is less than 0, or you have to check that f of c into f of b is less than 0. Which one is correct? You have to check. Which one is correct? You have to check. Right? If suppose this is correct, then our d root will be c plus a by 2. Okay. Suppose this is not correct. If this is correct, then our d root will be b plus c by 2. Okay. So like this we have to go on checking. Then again what we have to do? We have to find again in the fourth step, what we have to find? F of d value you have to find. Whether it is again plus or minus, you have to check it out. And again what we have to do? F of d into f of c we have to do. Okay. F of d into f of c we have to do. Right. So if it is less than or 0, if it is less than 0 or not, we have to check again. Whether it is less than 0 or not, we have to check. If it is less than 0, okay, no problem. Otherwise, again you have to go for f of d into f of a or b, whatever you get here. If this is correct, f of a you have to take here. If this is correct, f of b we have to take here. So we have to check with these results. F of d is into f of b is less than or 0 or not, we have to check. Like this we have to check. Then again, if any of this following is correct, suppose if this is correct, these two are not correct, if this is correct, then what you have to find? Again midpoint, c plus d by 2 you have to find. C plus d, another rule here. Like this we are going on doing this by taking the midpoint of between any two roots. That is, between some positive value and between negative value, we are taking a mid value, we are taking a midpoint. We are taking the midpoint between positive and negative. If this midpoint is positive, then this should be multiplied with the negative value. If this midpoint is negative, then you have to multiply with the positive value. Then we will get a less than 0, and we have to proceed taking the average of these two, negative and positive, or positive and negative. We have to take midpoint. We have to take midpoint of these two things or these two things. Like that, we have to go on repeating these same steps. So this is the bisection method process. Now what we have to do means you have to take one example and we shall solve that. Then we can write a one computer program regarding this. So I will take one example, one small example we will take, and we will find the root for that one. Then we will decide how to write the computer program. So here, first of all, what we shall take any function f of x is equal to x square plus 2x plus 1. This is one function. Okay. Now what shall we do? We shall choose some values. Suppose I am choosing some value f of 1 I am taking. F of 1 I am taking. So what I will get? 1 square plus 2 into 1 plus 1 is equal to 1 plus 2 plus 1. This is equal to 4. 1 plus 2, 3, 3 plus 1, 4. This is f of 1 value. Similarly, I want to choose some more value such that I should get negative here. I should get negative value. So I am choosing f of suppose minus 3 you take. Okay, so what you will get? Minus 3 whole square plus 2 into minus 3 plus 1 you will get. Okay, so 2 into 3 minus 6, 9 plus 1, still you are getting positive value only. So you should get a negative value, you have to choose now. So what is that negative value? We shall take minus 1 we shall take. Okay, so f of minus 1 you shall take. So minus 1 whole square plus 2 into minus 1 plus 1. So how much we will get here? Minus 1 whole square is plus 1 and minus 2 plus 1. So 2 minus 2 you will get, that is 0 you will get. So f of minus 1 you are getting 0. What does this mean? So minus 1 becomes the root of this given equation. Okay, so this is no need to solve it using bisection method. Okay, so we shall go for another one. So what is that another one means? Suppose f of x is equal to, you should take another equation. That equation is x minus x square minus five we shall take. X square minus 5. This is one equation. So for this you substitute f of 1. What you will get? 1 square minus 5. This is equal to minus 4 you will get. This is f of 1. Similarly you take f of 3 you take. F of 3 is equal to how much you will get? 3 square minus 5. That is nothing but 9 minus 5. So that is equal to 4. So here you take, this is a positive value we got and here negative value we got, right? So now this function is continuous. This function is continuous between the interval 1 comma 3. This function is continuous between the interval 1 comma 3. If you take 1 you are getting negative. If you take 3 you are getting positive. So the root lies between 1 and 3. Now the root of this equation lies between 1 and 3. Okay. Now how to find that equation? Let us see. Now what shall we do is Now what shall we do is take the midpoint of this equation is, now you take this is a value, this is nothing but a b interval we have got, f of x a b interval we got. So f of a is negative and here f of a is negative and f of b is positive we got. So f of a into b is negative only, that is f of 1 into f of 3, how much you will get? F of 1 is minus 4, f of 1 is minus 4, f of 3 is plus 4. So how much you will get? Minus 16. This is less than 0. This is less than 0. Okay, right? So now what you will do, you will find a c, that is a plus b by 2 we said. So a is you take as 1 and b is you take as 3 by 2, that is nothing but 3 plus 1 is 4, 4 by 2, so that is equal to 2 ones are 2 2s are, that is equal to 2. C is equal to 2 you got. Now you find f of c value. So f of 2 value. So 2 means how much we got? Here 2 square minus 5. 2 square minus 5, that is equal to 4 minus 5, that is equal to minus 1. So C negative we got. C is negative we got. So now negative into which one we have to take? F of 1 we have to take or f of 3 we have to take? Surely f of 1 is negative. F of 1 is negative we got. So if you now multiply f of 1 with f of 2, you will get a positive value greater than 0 you will get. So don't go for f of 1, you should go for f of 3. So f of 2 into f of 3 we have to do. Okay, why f of 2 into f of 3? Because f of 2 we got negative value, f of 3 is already positive value, so positive into negative will be negative value. So our aim is nothing but always we have to find the less than 0, right? If you multiply two functions it should be less than 0, then only we can proceed forward. Okay, so that's why now we shall take f of c, that is f of 2 into f of 3 I am taking. F of 2 is minus 1 into, and f of 3 is plus 4. So this is equal to minus 4, which is less than 0, right? Okay, so our new root d is going to lie between 2 and 3 now. So I am taking 2 plus 3 by 2. So this is how much? 3 plus 2, 5, 5 by 2. This is going to be 2.5. So our new root d is equal to 2.5. So substitute now f of 2.5. So how much you will get? F of 2.5 means x square minus 5. So 2.5 whole square minus 5. So 2.5 whole square is 6.25 minus 5. So this is equal to 1.25. So 1.25 is nothing but this is a positive result we got. So we got this as a positive result. So if you get a positive result, then the root is going to lie between D and C, because if you multiply f of C with f of D, then you will get a negative result. So that's why the root is going to lie between f of C and f of D. Okay, right. So now you substitute the values, that is f of 2 into f of 2 into f of 2 into f of 2.5 is equal to minus 1 into 1.25. So this will be less than 0. This is less than 0. So what is our new root now? The average of 2 and 2.5. So now we have to take the average of 2 and 2.5. So what is the average of 2 and 2.5? This is our new root e, that is c plus d by 2. So in the place of c we have taken 2, in the place of d we are taking 2.5. So 2 plus 2.5 by 2. So this is equal to 4.5 by 2. This is equal to 2 2 ja 2 point, right? 2.25 you will get. E is 2.25. So f of e, that is nothing but f of 2.25 is equal to 2.25 whole square minus 5. Okay, so what is 2.25 whole square? 225 into 225 you do 5 5 is 25, 2 5 2 is 10, 12, 1, 5 2 is 10, 11. Here you will get 450, here you will get 450. So 5 2 6, 5 plus 4 9 10 1. So this is 5, right? So 5.0625. So what you will get is 5.0625 minus 5. This is equal to 0.0625 you will get. So this is a positive value. This is a positive value. So we have to look for the negative value. So here f of 2.5 is positive and f of 2 is negative. So the root lies between positive and negative, right? So we have to take the average of E and C. We have to take the average. Why I am not taking D? Why I am not taking D? Because here if you see f of E I have found that is in that I got that E is equal to C plus D by 2 because these two are positive and negative roots, so I have multiplied I have taken 2 plus 2.5 by 2, that is 4.5 by 2, 2.25 I got. So 2.25 is a positive value. And the nearest negative value for 2.25, that is f of E. The nearest negative value for f of E is f of C. If you take f of D, what happened? F of D is a positive value we got. So we are not going to take positive because positive into positive if you do, it will be greater than 0. But we want to get less than 0. So for that reason I am taking the average, that is new root, that is f is equal to E plus C by 2 I am taking. So E is 2.25 plus C is 2 by 2. So what you will get here, approximately you will get 4.25 by 2. So 2 ones are 2 2s are 0.125 you will get. 2.125 you are going to get. So now you have to find out the value of 2.125. So that is f of f we are going to find out. Okay. So f of f we are going to find out. So what is that f of f? We shall see now. So f of f we are going to find out. So f value how much we got? 2.125. We got 2.125 whole square minus 5. Okay. So this is nearly how much we will get? 2125 into 2125. 5 5 is 25. 2 5 is 10, 12. 1 5 1 is 5 plus 1 6. 5 2 is 10. So 2. This is 0 5 4 2. This is 5 2 1 2, and this is again 0 5 2 4, right? So what you will get? 5 2 10 plus 6 16. 1 2 plus 1 3 3 plus 2 5, and 4 plus 1 5 5 plus 1 6 6 plus 2 11 5 4 you get, right? So what is this value? After 6 digits you have to keep a point, that is 4.515625. So this is the value we got. This is minus, this is subtracted with 5. Okay, so we have to subtract from 5 this one, 5.000000 minus 4.515625. So this is how much you are going to get is 10 minus 5 is 5, 9 minus 2 is 7, 9 minus 6 is 3, 9 minus 5 is 4, 9 minus 1 is 8, 9 minus 5 is 4 again. So 0.484375 you will get. Okay, this is a positive value, this is a negative value you are going to get, because this is one we are taking as a negative and this one is positive. So you are going to get negative value. So this is negative. And what is the nearest positive for this one? The nearest positive value for this one is how do we can take, that is, this one is the nearest positive for this one. Fe is the positive nearest value for this one, isn't it? So now we are going to find G root, that is E plus F by 2. E plus F by 2. So how to do this E plus F by 2? Again you take E 2.25 plus F is 2.125 by 2. So what you will get here now? 2.37 you will get. So 2.37 5 you are going to get. So my dear friends, 2.375 is here if you find x square minus 5, for this if you try to find the root, then you equate it to 0. So x is equal to zeros of the polynomials. So x square minus 5 is equal to 0. X is equal to root 5. Root 5 value is 2.236. Okay. So here we are getting 2.375. It is somewhat very near to this value, we can say. Okay. Still you want, you can also do further. Okay. So like this you can find the nearest roots for the given equation. Okay. So in this way we are going to find out the equation roots, right? So this is called as a bisection method. Next we shall see how to write the program. So if you consider here steps, here what are the steps means, to write the C program we require some steps. So what are the steps means, number 1. So here what are the steps means, first step you have to find the middle point, that is CA plus B by 2. This is number 1. And before this you have to take two in numbers randomly. You have to assume two numbers such that, how you have to assume these two numbers? F of A into F of B should be less than 0. In this way we have to take these two numbers. This is the first condition. Next what you have to do, and the second condition, we have to take C is equal to A plus B by 2 you have to do, and this C is going to be substituted in a f of x function. We have pre-assumed the function first of all. That function, that will be transcendental function or algebraic function. In that you have to take two values A and B, and there you have to test their products should be less than 0. Then you have to find C is equal to A plus B by 2. The mid value you have to find. So after finding this mid value, you have to check the function that C is equal to 0 or not. You have to check. If in a sense ఒకవేళ మనకు f of c is equal to 0 అయితే అప్పుడు మనం ఏమని చెప్పొచ్చు, డైరెక్ట్ c is a root అని చెప్పొచ్చు. సో అది మనం printf లో చూపెట్టాలి. ఈ ఫంక్షన్ if క్లాస్ తీసుకోవాలి మనం, ఇది f of c is equal to 0 అయితే అప్పుడు c is a root అని చెప్పేసి చెప్పొచ్చు. మనం C ప్రోగ్రామ్ రాయడానికి ఈ స్టెప్స్ ఫాలో కావాలి. నెంబర్ 1 ఫస్ట్ ఫంక్షన్ డిసైడ్ చేయాలి. నెక్స్ట్ A అండ్ B వాల్యూస్ ఎంటర్ చేసుకోవాలి. ఎంటర్ చేసుకున్న తర్వాత C వాల్యూ ఎంటర్ చేసుకోవాలి. C వాల్యూ క్యాలిక్యులేట్ చేయాలి. ఆ C వాల్యూని ఫంక్షన్స్లో మనం సబ్స్టిట్యూట్ చేయాలి. చేసిన తర్వాత C ఒకవేళ ఇది 0 అయితే C is a root అని డైరెక్ట్ చెప్పచ్చు. C 0 కాకపోతే, f of C కనుక 0 కాకపోతే, then we have to take else function. So in that else function what we are going to say in the else function, that is f of c not equal to 0, else if f of c is not equal to 0, అప్పుడు మనం ఏం చెక్ చేయాలి, f of a star f of c less than 0 అవుతుందా లేదా, else if ఒకవేళ ఇది అవుతుందా, else if ఇంకొక కండిషన్ టెస్ట్ చేయాలి. ఏంటిది, f of a తీసుకున్నాం కదా, నెక్స్ట్ ఏంటిది f of b కదా. సో f of b ఇంటూ f of c కనుక లెస్ దెన్ 0 అవుతుందా. ఎందుకు ఎటువంటి కండిషన్స్ టెస్ట్ చేయాలి, ఒకవేళ ఇది లెస్ దెన్ 0 అయితే రూట్ అనేది a అండ్ c మధ్యలో ఉంటుంది. ఒకవేళ ఇది రైట్ అయితే రూట్ అనేది b అండ్ c మధ్యలో ఉంటుంది. ఓకే, సో అందుకనే మనం ఈ టూ కండిషన్స్ చెక్ చేయాలి ప్రోగ్రాంలో. టూ కండిషన్స్ చెక్ చేసిన తర్వాత ఒకవేళ ఇవి రెండు కాలేదు అంటే మనం ఇచ్చిన ఏ అండ్ బి వాల్యూస్ కరెక్ట్ కాదు, ఇది ఒక రీజను. లేకపోతే ఎఫ్ ఆఫ్ ఎక్స్ కరెక్ట్ కాదు, ఈ 2 రీజన్స్ మనం ప్రింట్ఎఫ్లో అవుట్పుట్లో ఇచ్చేసుకోవాలి. అంటే ఇది ఇచ్చింది ఫంక్షన్ కరెక్ట్ కాదు. ఇది ఒకవేళ సాటిస్ఫై కావాలి, కంపల్సరీ కావాలి. కాకపోతే మీరు ఏ అండ్ బి వాల్యూస్ని మళ్ళీ వెరిఫై చేసుకోండి అని మనం ప్రింట్ఎఫ్లో ఇస్తాం. లేదు ఫంక్షన్ అయినా కరెక్ట్ కాదు, చూసుకోండి అని మళ్ళీ ప్రింట్ఎఫ్లో ఇస్తాం. ఈ రెండింటిని మనం, ఈ 3 కండిషన్స్ని మనం ఫాలో అవ్వకుంటూ ఒక ప్రోగ్రామ్ రాయాలి. ఓకే, సో హౌ టు రైట్ ద ప్రోగ్రామ్, లెట్ us see. Okay, so how to write this bisection method C program. First ఏంటంటే ప్రోగ్రామ్ మనం స్టార్ట్ చేయాలి కదా. సో హ్యాష్ ఇంక్లూడ్ stdio.h హ్యాష్ ఇంక్లూడ్ conio.h. ఓకే, we shall call these header files. ఓకే, నెక్స్ట్ మనం మ్యాథమెటిక్స్ కూడా ఇన్వాల్వ్ చేస్తున్నాం కాబట్టి ఇందులో hash include header file of mathematics, that is maths.h. ఇది మనం ఇంక్లూడ్ చేస్తున్నాం. ఓకే, 3 హెడర్ ఫైల్స్ ఇంక్లూడ్ చేస్తాం మనం. నెక్స్ట్ వీఆర్ గోయింగ్ టు డిఫైన్ వన్ ఈక్వేషన్. ఓకే, సో మనం ఒక డిఫైన్ చేస్తున్నాం కాబట్టి హ్యాష్ డిఫైన్, మనం ఒక కొత్త ఫంక్షన్ మనం డిఫైన్ చేస్తున్నాం ఇక్కడ. వాట్ ఎవర్ ద గివెన్ ఫంక్షన్, దట్ ఈస్ ఎఫ్ ఆఫ్ ఎక్స్ ఫంక్షన్ వీఆర్ గోయింగ్ టు డిఫైన్. That is f of x that is equal to cos x. ఇక్కడ is equal to వాడద్దు as defined లో. Okay, we can give just space and leave it. So f of x cos x minus x into e power x. ఇది ఒక ట్రాన్స్జెన్షనల్ ఈక్వేషన్ తీసుకుంటున్నాం మనం. f of x cos x minus x into e power x ఇది ఒకటి తీసుకుంటున్నాం. అయితే డైరెక్ట్ ఎక్స్ అని మనం రాయరాదు కాబట్టి, ఈ పవర్ ఎక్స్ ఎక్స్పోనెన్షియల్ ఫంక్షన్ లేదు కాబట్టి మనం ఏం చేయాలంటే ఎక్స్పోనెన్షియల్ ఆఫ్ ఎక్స్ అని తీసుకోవాలి. ఇది math.xలో ఉంటుంది, ఎక్స్పోనెన్షియల్ ఆఫ్ పవర్ ఆఫ్ ఎక్స్ అని తీసుకోవచ్చు. ఓకే, పవర్ ఆఫ్ ఈ కామా ఎక్స్ అని కూడా తీసుకోవచ్చు, లేకపోతే ఎక్స్పోనెన్షియల్ ఆఫ్ ఎక్స్ అని కూడా తీసుకోవచ్చు మనం. రైట్, నెక్స్ట్ వీఆర్ గోయింగ్ టు కాల్ ద వాయిడ్ మెయిన్ ఫంక్షన్. void main function we are going to call. And next we are going to take the variables here. We are taking floating point variables, we are taking అంటే డెసిమల్స్ వాల్యూస్ ఎక్స్పెక్ట్ చేస్తున్నాం అన్నమాట. అందుకనే ఫ్లోటింగ్ పాయింట్ వేరియబుల్స్ తీసుకుంటున్నాం మనం. అవి ఏంటి అంటే ఫ్లోట్ x0, x1, x2, f0, f1, f2, e. ఈ అనేది ఏంటంటే ఎర్రర్ కొరకు మనం ఎర్రర్ ఎంత మినిమైజ్ చేయాలనుకుంటున్నాం. ఇప్పుడు ఫర్ ఎగ్జాంపుల్ నేను ఇంతకుముందు అనుకుంటే 2.367 అని సంథింగ్ వచ్చింది కదా, దానికంటే ఇంకా అక్యురేట్ వాల్యూ కావాలి అనుకుంటే ఈ ఎర్రర్ని మనం డిఫైన్ చేయాలి. ఈ ఎర్రర్ 0.01 తీసుకున్నామంటే అంతే అక్యురసీ వస్తుంది. 0.001 తీసుకుంటే ఇంకా ఎక్కువ అక్యురసీ వస్తుంది. సో ఆ అక్యురసీని డిసైడ్ చేయడానికి నేను ఈ ఎర్రర్ ఈ అనే వాల్యూ కూడా నేను తీసుకుంటున్నాను. ఓకే, ఇట్లా ఈ విధంగా x0, x1, x2 ఇవి ఏంటి 3 వాల్యూస్. ఈ f1, f2 ఇవేంటి ఫంక్షన్స్. సో మనం ఈ వాల్యూస్ తీసుకెళ్ళి ఫంక్షన్స్లో సబ్స్టిట్యూట్ చేసుకుంటూ మనం, ఎందుకంటే ఈ ఫంక్షన్ ఉంది కదా f of x0, f of x1, f of x2. సో f0 is equal to f of x0, f1 is equal to f of x1, f2 is equal to f of x2. సో ఇందులో నేను సబ్స్టిట్యూట్ చేస్తాను ఈ వాల్యూ సబ్స్టిట్యూట్ చేసి దానిలో ఒక వాల్యూ ఈ ఫంక్షన్ వాల్యూని ఒక దగ్గర స్టోర్ చేయాలి కాబట్టి ఈ f0, ఈ f1, ఈ f2ను నేను తీసుకుంటాను. ఓకే, సో అట్లా దట్ ఈస్ మై ఐడియా. సో ఐఎమ్ టేకింగ్ లైక్ దిస్ x0, x1, x2 and this. Okay, and now integer I am taking, that is integer type data type I am taking. That's for steps. I am going to follow some steps now. Just now I said 3 or 4 steps I said, no, the steps I am going to follow. Each step how I am doing that will be displayed. So for that reason I am taking integer type data type, that is step is equal to 1. I am initializing this value. If I do not initialize this step is equal to 1, it will take some garbage values that is not suitable for our program. So for that purpose I am initializing step is equal to 1, right? And next what I am doing, I am clearing the screen. CLR SCR, I am just clearing the screen. So the screen must be cleared. So that's why I am taking this clearing function. And now up to this I will rub this one. Next what I am going to take is up. I am taking. So why I am taking this up means I want to use go to command. So that's why I am taking a label. This is called label. Here you can take a meaningful label with a colon. So I want to use a go to function. Why I want to use a go to function means if A and B are incorrect values, if you are taken, then again it will come to this up, and then again it will take correct values. So first of all printf I am taking. So printf, enter the A and B values. Enter A and B. Who are this A and B? F of A into F of B less than 0 I have taken initially. So that A and B values you have to enter here. Enter two initial values. We are going to assume these two initial values, right? Which the f of x is continuous between the interval a comma b. So that interval, the two values, enter the two initial values. That a and b values you have to enter here, depending on the function. And this program is suitable for only that a function that I have displayed in the first section, that is f of x is equal to cos x minus x into e power x is there. No, for this function only it is. Again you want to change the function means this f of x should be changed every time. Okay, so like that, no need of giving function here, just you have to change in the program itself the function value. And the values here you can give any number of values here as you wish according to our required function. So next scanf, I want to read these two values. I want to store these two values at x0 and x1. Instead of a and b I have taken here x0 and x1. So I am going to store. These are the floating point variables already I said. So percentage f comma ampersand x0 and comma ampersand x1. So it is going to store in the x1 and x2, x0 and x1. These two initial values are storing in x1 and x1. Just like a and b interval. Now the function is continuous between these two intervals. Now that I want to that we are going to check now again. So before checking that, I want to give error value also, how much accuracy the root should be. That accuracy value can be given like this: printf enter the accuracy value. That means enter the tolerable error. Enter the tolerable error. So how much error you are going to decide in the program, that can be given over here. So this enter the error, that is, now this should be read by scanf, using scanf. So using scanf I am reading this error, that is scanf percentage f. This should be stored in the error value. This should be stored in the error value. How much, 0.1 or 0.01, how much error you are going to give, based on that one this will be executed. Now we are going to find out function value we are going to find out. That means f0 and f of x1, that is f0 f1, these two values you are going to calculate. So for that reason what we have to find, so f0 is equal to f of x0 and f1 is equal to f of x1. These two values we are going to calculate. Okay, we have calculated these two values. Now what we have to do, we have to check this f0 into f1 is greater than 0 or less than 0, that we are going to check. Okay, so for that I am rubbing this one. Now we are going to check these two values, that is what we are going to check is if a function I am taking f0 into f1 is greater than 0. If it is greater than 0, bisection method is not applied. If it is greater than 0, bisection method is not at all applied. As they are floating point numbers, so I have to take 0.0 I have to take. Floating, whenever we are given floating point numbers, we should not use 0. Simply 0 you are using means again it will be integer type. It is not valid, you will get error. So that's why I have to take 0.0 you have to take. Okay. Next afterwards what you have to do, printf, in this printf function what we have to say, it is not correct, the enter values, enter your incorrect initial guesses, incorrect initial values, initial values you have taken, no, x0 and x1, they are incorrect. So what you have to do, go to up again, go to up, we have given label now, that label you have to reach, again you go to that label and again you enter the initial values x0 and x1. That's what he is saying. Now if this statement is wrong, means it is less than 0 suppose, then it will be going to our calculation process. So it will execute our calculation process. So what calculation process it will exist? So this is if condition, no, then definitely it should be in a braces, right? It is in a loop, if is a loop, so we have to take them to braces. Now this loop will be skipped if this is wrong. If this statement is false, this loop will be skipped. So skipped and come to the next value, that is what is that value is printf. You have to give the step value. So on the next line we can give step, which step it is. We have already taken step, we have initialized this step is equal to 1. So step value will be initialized, and after this step value will be initialized, and next some gap you take. After step, what are the things we are going to see? x0 value, what is that, it will be printed, and you take some gap, and x1 value what you have taken, that will be printed. Okay, x1 value what is taken, that will be printed, x0 value that will be printed, and x2 value is also whatever you have taken, because x2 will be equal to x1 plus x2 always, x0 by x1 by 2. Okay, so again you take a tab and x2 value will be printed. Okay, so these values will be printed in the next line. Okay, next what we have to do here is find that x value, do, we are taking do statement, do while this x2 is equal to x1 x0 plus x1 by 2. We have to do the midpoint value, we have to find, just like c is equal to a plus b by 2, d is equal to c plus a by 2, like that we have done, no? So like similarly f2 function we have to find, that is f2 is equal to f of x2, this value are going to substitute. Okay, so after substituting you have to print these values, step what, which step it is. Okay, and what is x0 value you have taken, what is x1 value you have taken, what is x2 value you have taken, these three things you have to print as it is, you have to print. Under step you should get this one, under x0 you should get this one, under x1 you should get this value, under x2 you should get this value. So one by one you should get, anyhow the print will be on the next line only, but as it is it will print. Okay, so for that purpose what you have to do is same values you take here to here, that is you have given one next line, a percentage d, it is step is a integer value, so slash t, why 2 times tab you have taken, after the x0 value will be printed, that is percentage f, it is a floating value, and percentage t, that is slash t, tabs you are giving 2 times space you are giving, x1 value you are printing, so x1 value is percentage f only, x1 value is percentage f only, it is a floating value, so again 2 tabs you have given, space you have given, and again x2 value is also a percentage f value only, right? So these all values you are going to print. So comma, so what are the values? Number 1 step, number 2 what is this, x0 you are going printing, next x1, next x2, these all values you are going to print as it is below this one, like this you are going to print. So this up to here we have done this much program. Okay, next thing is left. Now you have to check the condition that whatever x2 you have found, if f0 into f2 is positive or negative, you have to check. If it is negative, okay, then what happen, you take x1 is equal to x2, if it is negative you can take x1 is equal to x2, so x1 value will become x2, and x0 will be as it is only. Again you will take average, it will be changing the values. Okay, so then again f1 will become f2, and this value will be repeated again. Okay, what is that value will be repeated? Again you will find the x2 value as this x1 value, that is you will find x2 plus x0 by 2 you are going to find out, and it will be stored as x2. Like that it is going on process. Okay, if this is not okay, if this condition fails suppose, then it will go to the next statement, that is else x0 is equal to x2, it will take opposite value. X0 will be, if see suppose we have choose that x0 is negative, x1 is positive we have chosen, and after getting x2 value, that is x0 plus x1 by 2 we have done. After doing this we got some x2 value. If this x2 is negative, we won't multiply with x0, we have to multiply with x1. So that's why what happened, we in the place if x2 we got negative suppose, then this value is replaced by x2. If x2 is positive, then what happened, this value is replaced by x1 is replaced by x2. So that's why I am writing x1 is equal to x2 if the product is less than 0. Now x1 takes the values of x2 like this. If x1, if it is not 0, if this statement fails, then x0 will be replaced with x2. x0 will be replaced with x2. So like that we are going to proceed. Okay, right? So we will proceed, and then what happened, x0 is equal to x2. Then what are the things we have to change here? F1 change it, x1 change it to x2, f1 change it to f2. So x0 change it to x2, then f0 must be changed to f2. f0 must be changed to f2. So like this we have completed the condition. After this condition execution, what happened? Now we have to close this loop. This will be skipped. Next, the step value must be increased. The step value is equal to step plus 1. The step value is equal to step plus 1. The step value is increased. This is going to be the second step again. Okay, up to here this is the first step. This will be executed. These values will be executed, and this is going to be second step. So here this will be done while statement, using while statement. The condition is that we have taken some error function. No, what is that? Fab of f2 is greater than error function e, up to this only. This will be valid while function. No, we have to take this open braces. Okay, this is valid for fab of f2 greater than error. It will calculate the error function. Okay, it will test the error. If this error is failed, then it will again skip to the, if it is greater than, then it will be what we call if this is greater than the error, then it will be start doing again this, the whole thing will be processed. If it is less than the error, then again what happen, it will stop. If the while function fails, then what happen, it stops here, the program stops up to here. And then what happen, printf, the root will be displayed here. The root, whatever the root we have considered, that root will be displayed. Root is equal to, that is percentage f x2, whatever is final result, that root only will be displayed on the screen. For this we use getch also for immediate seeing the result. Okay, instead of overloading. So by this it ends the program. Okay, thank you.